people to freeze and unfreeze their credit file will be free. I guess that was the pressing point there, that it would be a free credit freeze or having it unfrozen as of September 21. Previously, it's been a $10 fee, I think, in Wisconsin. And the other addition would be on the phone number. The very last line of that section would be 866-720-5721.
2-1, okay.
Yeah, we're just missing the 2. Okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other additions or corrections? Okay, then we'll have those filed. Citizen statement, Aaron?
Well, I just wanted to let you guys know that the Finding Balance Together Coalition, which is a coalition that's based on trying to prevent falls, it includes Winnebago County, but also includes Outagamie County and some of our surrounding communities as well. We're going to be putting on an event October 30th. It's at the Bubolt's Nature Preserve in Appleton, and if you haven't been there in a while, it's changed significantly. So we are going to be, there's going to be a keynote speaker there, Patricia Quigley from St. Petersburg, Florida. She's excellent. And lots of resources, different people there just to kind of really discuss falls and how to prevent falls. So we're just recommending that people kind of call. There was only so much room for just the regular community. So if you call the number 1-800-362-9900, you could register for that. So it should be a great time. So I wanted to let you all know that was coming.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, and moving on, Ron, would you like to introduce our speaker?
Sure. We're delighted to have Ann Marshall with us this morning. She's the coordinator of voter services with the Winnebago County League of Women Voters, and we're just eager to hear what you've got to say for us. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and I kind of join you in the age bracket anyway, and I was looking at her little flyer there, and it said be upright and active, and I said we all are, I think, at this point. The League of Women Voters, as most of you know, is a nonpartisan organization of women and men, believe it or not. And we advocate for informed and active participation in government. And for our purposes, that means encouraging people to participate by voting as informed voters. We neither support nor oppose candidates and political parties. So as coordinator of voter registration events, we are very nonpartisan. People try to get us to sometimes to take sides, but we just don't and can handle that pretty well. We are very active in supporting voter rights, but in addition to that, we have positions that after much study, we will take on certain issues. And in terms of voting, we were very opposed to the voter ID when it was being discussed, and we were part of a lawsuit and things, but eventually, it took a while before it came to pass. And as far as elderly is concerned, that has been a problem that we've become aware of. And I'll talk more about that a little later. We also, for instance, in the state, the redistricting, we were involved in that. Here in our state, we have Republicans now in governor, Senate, and the Assembly. Illinois has the same, but Democrats hold it. So those things are not really, it isn't just one party or another, but the redistricting has been one of our major issues. But getting on to what I'm here for, we in the League of Women Voters have a major election coming up. So what we've been doing is we're doing a voter registration blitz, I call it. We're going all over the community, meeting with people, and I'll give you an idea. We want to get young people interested in voting. We're going to all of the 4 high schools in Oshkosh. We were at Oshkosh North last week. Oh, it is such fun because they're so eager to vote, and it's not easy for them. They too don't always have the necessary documentation to register or to vote. If they don't have a driver's license or something, it's difficult. But it's fun to be there and to see their enthusiasm. We go to places on purpose now for people who are sometimes overlooked. And by that I mean we've been to the Salvation Army during their lunch times, the food pantry on Jackson, the major one. St. Vincent's will be there right at the entrance of St. Vinny's on Saturday. And not everybody understands registration, so it's lots of questions and things. But we do inform voters how to do things. We too are focusing very greatly on the elderly and disabled. We have been to we will have been to all of the Housing Authority apartment buildings, all of them, even Amro and out there. We will be going to the 3 Simiana buildings, which is low income. There are 3 apartment buildings associated with Bethel. That's now called something else fancy. And we went to Bella Vista yesterday, had a big turnout. As people have moved in there, so they need to change their addresses and they need to update things. And we're going to join you at the Senior Expo right at the entrance, the main entrance, off of CP, so that we'll be there to answer questions, to register voters, to do whatever is involved. It will be interesting because in the senior center, it's interesting because when we go to places like that, most people are registered voters. And we were at an event at the senior center that was a big one, and we were there for I think 6 hours, and we registered 3 people, mostly changing their address, or some that had come to the community. So you can tell that we've kind of picked where we go in order to meet people who may not be as informed. And at Senior Expo, too, the last time, we talk and we say when early voting starts and stuff, but at least we're reminding people to vote. I want to talk a little now about recent changes that may affect more of our population, elder population. We all have to, in order to register to vote, you must present a document that proves your address. Now, most of us have driver's license. And even if they aren't just having you come in and get a new driver's license every time you change your address. But we can, if it's different, we can go in online, and so many things are happening that way now, to the Department of Transportation and can change that. And then you can register to vote because it's in that. But many people don't have that. So there are, I will pass these out, Lurton. Sure. These are, the city of Oshkosh put those out. Those are about everything you can use to prove your address. And when I'm at the housing authority buildings or like Bella Vista, they don't always have those documents. But there, I am able to get copy of their residential lease, because just the face page, because on it, it has the address, and they will accept that. So we were running up and down getting copies of those yesterday like crazy. So we try very hard to help people find what they need for that. The other thing, which is a little more difficult, and Lurton, I'm going to have you. You can just sit there. These now. You've proven your address to the city clerk or municipal clerk, so you're registered. But when you go to the polls, you must have one of these IDs to show. It's a photo ID. And one has been added since this was put out, and that's the Veterans Affairs ID. They can use that. So that's good, because that added quite a few people. But look how limited that list is. Think of elderly people, or those that are kind of overlooked. They may not have a passport anymore. No. They may not have, I didn't keep that, but those documents are the only ones that can be used. Now, I gave you the printout for seniors, and it tells you on the back of that second one there, it tells you how to go to the DMV to get a free voter ID for voting. It can be used for nothing else. I read that, and it's confusing to me. And when I last got my driver's license renewed, they said there's a real driver's license now.
Right.
And you have to take almost the similar things to that, and I, of course, missed one. So I didn't get it. I just have my regular ID. But just think, if you're someone who is not knowledgeable of this kind of thing, what confusion that is. And then, if you don't have all the documentation, it turns out that's okay. But you have to petition once you're there to get an ID, and so it adds another step to the process. It's just not comfortable. Evergreen and let's see who else. Back, people needed that. They needed to go there, so their van took several people, but the people, they had no help in gathering the information. It didn't work. And the driver wasn't able to help them. So it's just one more little barrier. Also, another thing is, where the DMV is? Here, there's no bus transportation out there. And you certainly are not going to rock those roundabouts to get out. I see people walking there, and I think, oh my Lord. Yeah. So the transportation is a problem. I know, and you may know, that people can call ADRC, and they will, if they realize it's a legitimate need, will connect people to AdvoCab or to, I think, Make the Rides Happen is one of them too. And they will have a volunteer come. But once again, nobody's helped this person gather the right information. So I'm thankful for that, because I've called a couple of times for people and had that hookup made. But that is not my real goal. But if I find somebody that needs that, I'll help them do that. Now, Lurton, one more thing. I want you to see. Now, here's a good thing. These are, those are absentee voter requests, voting requests. So, we can go over when there's, what do they call it now? Early voting. we can go over and vote early, or we can send in. I actually sent in an application for absentee voting at the August election just because I wanted to try these things out. If I'm going to tell people about them, I've got this envelope. It's this big. Oh my God!
Thank you.
But it was kind of fun. But then me, being me, said, "Look at the postage they paid. The city paid for the original. It was over $1.97 or something. Then your envelope inside is also." So I thought, I ripped off the city here because I didn't need it. I was just trying it out. But with this, now when we go to some of the apartments, people are in wheelchairs. It just is not possible for them to go to the polls anymore. The state has allowed, this is where the yellow lines are, is where we help them. But look at the third, where it says, do you want an absentee ballot for this election for the rest of the year and then forever? That third one, for an incapacitated person, somebody who just can't get around. Thank goodness for that, because we can send that in without an ID. And that's just been so helpful to people. And that's the one thing that has really made it easier for us to help people. Now, for me, when I did it, I was just pretending, and so I said just this election, and I had to send a copy of my ID. But if you're incapacitated and unable, then you don't have to. So that's been wonderful. The other thing I've noticed when going to visit people, they will ask me. One lady said, I got my absentee ballot for the August election. I didn't know who these people were, remember? And also you vote one party. And she said, I didn't know what to do. And if I don't vote in this election and send that back, I may get cut off in that permanent list. That's true, only they don't do it quite that fast. And I thought, that's right. She does not have a computer. She can watch television, and there will be some things coming up that will be advertised, big races like governor and so forth, they're going to have some. So what I did was try to think as much as I could about what things could be done and sent them the coordinator over there, a list of things, but lots of them were on computer. So even that, and here they're asking me, I'm going to Marion Manor tomorrow. The social worker there called me and said there are 2 referenda on the ballot. Our people don't know what that means. Can you explain? Well, I will as briefly as I can, but those are complicated things. So anyway, we're trying, and we care. But just so you know, and I think you did already, that there are barriers there, not for many people. And we work hard to try to keep on trying to get rid of some of those, but don't know whether we'll succeed. Now, any questions?
And will the league be sponsoring some forums as you normally do as the midterms come up, or not this time?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
But we invite. It's mostly our more local like Schra and Leverance are our assembly people for District 53, 6. I'm in it, I should know. We also have invited Grossman and
Cool.
Cole. Grossman, of course, was very upset with our voter ID protests So he chooses not to come usually. And we talked to him and he's not coming. So hopefully there'll be some more around here. But otherwise, our local candidates, the sheriff and so forth, those are not opposed. And we have to have the two candidates there, because it's not fair just to give one. So that's really all we're having. The next level up, it will have to be through television, really, mainly, or online.
The other question I have, Ann, is do you do outreach to nursing homes too? You mentioned
No,
that.
that's a little different.
That's a little
If you're in
different.
a nursing home, their own staff is trained and certified. We used to get trained too by City Hall, and we were special deputies. They can still do that for the nursing population.
Okay.
So they're doing it. And the person at Evergreen this year, she was that person. And she now is doing more of the independent living. And so when I talked to her, and she said, Ann, I can do this. I've already started, because she knew all those things already. So that's why we didn't go there.
Good. Okay.
And hospitalized, that's a little different.
You seem to have missed a number of other elderly or 55 and up housing, like the Midwest properties, Heritage
I
Court.
know,
those.
because I can't do any more than I'm doing.
Okay.
I have people at some of those that I gave them some information. So it's being passed around and talked about.
Good.
And I think I'm exhausted. Because this is all in a very short period of time. I have about 16, 17 volunteers. So just the coordination of it. I try to pick where, and I know those really were on my mind, and we'll try to do more. But I did get some information out to them, and but we just can't do them all.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions for her?
No.
Okay.
Excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Van.
Thank you very much.
Here. you may have fun with this. On there, if you haven't gone to myvote.wi.gov, it would be fun to go. You can find your whole history of your own voting and all sorts of information. You can print off the ballot from there that we're getting. It tells you your polling places. You probably know that, but it's really fun, and they are encouraging use of those sites for all voters. And so we're able to use it fairly often and then the next one, Bring It, is more on the voter ID thing. And I put down at the bottom, vote 411 Wisconsin. Is that right? I think so. That gets you to a site, our league site, and they send out questions to all the candidates, even way up, and same questions, like our forums, and then they answer those questions, so you are able to see and compare. So that's why these are just kind of fun to look at. And thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll see you over at the
Yes.
Expo Center.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments or anything from our members before we adjourn?
Just one thing I want to ask. I should ask you. It's absentee ballot. I used to work in the committees back in the 90s. So
Okay.
things have changed a heck of a lot. And it seems like a lot of people will go on vacations and that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden you have to get back and vote and count them things after the election. Have they still got the screw complications to it yet, or is it getting easier for counting absentee
I think it's
ballots?
easier, a little bit easier.
I hope
You
so.
don't have to do it all by hand, so
Yeah.
they feed it in.
Yeah, I hope so, though. Yeah.
But it still is, they're still there.
It's still there, okay.
Right.
Thank you, thank you.
Be Beth Culp, probably, yeah.
Okay, Our November meeting will be Tuesday, November 6th. We will have the Winnebago County Dementia Specialist, Rebecca Grollo, Becca, and she'll be talking about Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia and all that good stuff, and possibly Beth Culp or Brian Nagler from the ADRC. So, on that note, motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Great. We will adjourn this meeting, and hopefully everybody will be able to come over to the Senior Expo. And we'll see you there. We've got a spot.